Hello, my name is Ed Diaz, and today we're going to be working on the Roland Fantom G. We're going to show how to split and layer in studio mode. Normally, when we split and layer, we go to live mode, which looks something like this. And as you see, when we're in live mode, we can split and layer 8 different ways, so 8 different patches at the same time. Also, if we were to cursor down right here, if you cursor down in live mode, you see you can split and layer 16 external patches from an external keyboard or keyboards if you know the MSB, LSB, and program change numbers. Recently, I've been contacted about how come the Fantom can't split and layer 16 layers and splits like the previous Fantom X and even as far back as the XP50s. And my answer is that it can. So if we go ahead and press the studio mode button to the top left of your keyboard, we'll switch to this view. Once we're in studio mode, we can look in here and we press F5 Studio List. Now, normally, studio mode is used to set up your sound so when you're recording, for example, I can go to, say, this initial R&B studio set, select it, and there are all the sounds that are normally associated with that particular type of genre. Also, I could go into here and create my own studio set from one of the 128 initialized studio sets. So I could select it, put in whatever sounds I want to put in, great, and then I can actually write that studio set and it would save. So this is a way for me to save time when I'm doing recording, so that way I don't have to go and choose sounds every time, because a lot of times when we record, we use a lot of the same type of sounds for our recordings. Okay, because I know I have particular sounds that I favor on here, and I'm sure you do too. Now, let's learn how to split and layer on here. Check this out. So if I wanted to split and layer, let me go ahead and start off with pressing F5, and I'll just go ahead and choose an initialized studio list. We'll just choose number 1. Really doesn't matter. I'm going to press F8 Select, and you see I have all these different 16 MIDI parts right here. Okay. These are parts. These aren't tracks. These are MIDI parts. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. So normally when I choose sounds, I just press F1 patch list, and I can go into my patch list area, and I can go through different categories and then scroll within that category and choose the sound. And I still can when I'm splitting and layering. So let's make a basic layer right now. One common one that I always like to create is electric piano with the strings and a voice. So let's press F1 patch list. Let's go ahead and choose an electric piano sound. I like the Pure EP. Let's press F8 Select. All right. So say I wanted to go ahead and layer it with a voice sound. So I'll go ahead and cursor over to the next MIDI part, patch list again, and let's go ahead and go down to the voice section, and I'll use my favorite, which is Morning Star, right here. Okay. Now, how do I put those 2 patches together? Very easy. All I have to do is press F6 one time, and I get this screen right here. So we have our output level. We can adjust everything. Output assign, we can do that for here. And what output assign means is that I can route one patch to outputs 1 and 2, which are output A, or another patch to output 3 and 4, or if they're in stereo, to B. So this makes it really cool if you have a really nice layer and split with maybe like a bass, and you want to run the bass to a different section. All right, so let's go ahead and turn both of these on that quickly, and now I just put them together. So that quickly we put them together. Let's go ahead now and let's put another sound, and I'll go ahead and I can do it in here if I want. I can cursor over. Notice patch list is still here. I'll go ahead and choose the bass. Let's do the synth bass, and I'll use another one of my favorite ones right here. Flat bass. And I'm going to go ahead and press F6 one time. We get this area right here, and go back, and I'm going to go. I know my bass is going to be too loud because the bass tends to be, so I'll go ahead and lower it. Oh, what did I forget to do? I forgot to go into here and turn it on in the keyboard. So now listen, we go ahead and do it. There he is right there. All right, so now we have an electric piano, that Morningstar voice sound, and a bass. We have them all layered together, but what we really want to do is split them. So here's how we do it. We have this button right here, F3 Part View. Let's press that. Now, Part View, this is a really cool button. This allows us to see all the patches and do a lot of different types of editing very quick and easily right on the screen. So, as you saw earlier, I can choose my sounds. Here's my sounds that I've chosen, you know, and if I wanted to, I can go ahead and press the Enter button and still get to the category patch list area. I can go ahead and mute sounds if I want. Here, I can adjust my levels right here. So that makes it real cool. So I kind of like that for now. Now let's go ahead and F2 and go down to where it says keyboard. This is the screen that I want right here. I'm going to try and make it layer and split. I'm trying to split it now. Okay, so I might want to go ahead and have my F be the split point. I think that's my F3. So let me go ahead and adjust it here. Let me go ahead and turn off these guys. See, I can even turn off the sounds, turn them on right here. So all we're hearing is electric piano. And here we go, should be coming up. There we go. So I just muted, I didn't mute, I just adjusted the split point to F3 on the keyboard. So if I play any note below F3, you hear nothing. Let's do the same thing with the Morningstar. Adjust it because we want these guys to mimic each other very fast. And there we go. Now let's have the bass, turn that back on, but we're going to adjust the upper, so the upper part of the keyboard. So I'm going to put that one on E3 because I definitely want a difference there. So check this out real fast. So very quickly, we have a nice split. And let's exit one time so you can kind of see. There's my sounds right here. I'm going to go ahead and hold the home pedal. So very nice, very easy to go ahead and split and layer. And we just did 3 sounds, but if I wanted to, I can go ahead and do up to 16 in studio mode, whereas in live mode, I can only do 8. So let's go back to part view, and let me show you some other cool things you can do. Let's go ahead and take a look at this screen once again, the keyboard screen. So we have our sounds here. We have our keyboard switches right here, so we can turn on or turn off sounds very quickly. Here's where we adjust our split points right in here, one for the lower part of the keyboard and also for the upper. And right here we can adjust our velocity levels. You know, how soft or how hard do we need to strike the keyboard to get that sound to play. So, and also the velocity sensitivity. We can, if we're doing maybe an analog type sound, we can make it so where it's not sensitive to our touch. It's going to play the same every time. So that can be kind of fun. Now this section right here, this is where we can assign a arpeggio to a particular sound. Now, unfortunately, we can only do it to one. Okay, so that's up to you. And if you don't have the arpeggio on, it won't come out. So don't even worry about it. Also, if we have this right here, sample, we highlight that particular sound that it's highlighted on, that's going to be assigned to the sample pad bank. All right, cool. And then if we have rhythm on, this is our drum kit. Okay, so however we want to put them on, we can have it right there. Okay, so just experiment with those and see what you think. But right now we're not using these at all because I'm not going to turn on the arpeggio. I'm not going to have the sample pad bank on for that purpose, and also we're not having drums in here. But if I could have drums in here, but assign it to the sample pad bank, and it's all set. So let's go to the next one, F2 down. We have our output effects section. Now this one's really cool. If I press the enter button, you see that it pops up. A is outputs 1 and 2. B is outputs 3 and 4. So we can run A in stereo or B in stereo, or we can run them all mono, however you want. And then also our master effects, we can route those particular patches through the master effects if we want to. So let's say, for instance, I want my Pure EP and my Morningstar going out of my stereo A, so through my regular keyboard amp, maybe my KC550, and maybe I want my flat bass running through a bass amplifier. So all I would have to do is flip it to B. That's it. That's it, and it would be there. So right now, if I play this, you don't hear it because right now I have the keyboard routed stereo through the A 1 and 2. So I'll put it back. Great, and now you hear it. Now if I wanted to, we can adjust our chorus, how much chorus a sound gets, how much reverb, all from right here. So this is another great screen. Also pitch. This pitch tab is good because maybe my Pure EP is not the right octave. Since I did this layer and split, it just doesn't fall right for me, you know, because maybe I'm playing like a F9 chord, but I want to go a little bit lower, but because my split note is so close to the bass, it doesn't allow me. Check this out. I'll go ahead and drop that an octave and drop that an octave, and now I have more room on the keyboard to play. You know, so a lot more room. So I can adjust my octaves of the particular sounds. Also, what if I need to transpose? Maybe I need to cheat a little bit, you know, so I can go ahead and have one patch in the natural key. So we can see I have the Pure EP in one key. I have the Morningstar in a different key. So check this out. So I'll go ahead and play. Let's just do F. So bass there and the Pure EP are together. Now let's do them again. So this could be kind of fun. Maybe for certain lead sounds, maybe I want to have my leads an interval of a fifth apart. I can do that here. Also, maybe a little bit of chorus tuning. I want to have, just like an old-fashioned synth, I want to go ahead and have maybe one sound slightly out of tune, so it gives it a little bit more fullness. You know, that's kind of cool. A little fine-tuning. So if we look at this column right here, I can go ahead and adjust my bend level for that sound. So say right now, it's on the bend is going to be assigned whatever that patch is. So right now, if I use the bend mod wheel, okay, we see that I think it's just like a step. Okay, but if I wanted to, I can adjust it even more. Maybe a +3. Whatever I want. Or I could say, just go ahead and go back to the patch, whatever the patch it's assigned for that particular patch. My portamento switch right here, I can go ahead and if it's assigned for portamento, which I don't think it is on this one, but I can turn it on. So remember, portamento is the time it takes to play from one note to another. So I can adjust my time. So check this out. I'll play an F, and I'll play a C. So really kind of crazy. And this might be more beneficial if we go ahead and show it on maybe the bass. So I'll go ahead and turn that switch on. Right now, here's the bass by itself. Go ahead and turn it on, the portamento. Not hearing a difference. Let's go over here and start messing with it. You hear it scooping? So you can go ahead and adjust, play with that to get just the right amount that you want. So that's kind of a cool thing you can do on here. A lot of people don't even realize. Scale tune. This is where you go if you're using some of the more exotic scales, not just the regular 12-tone scales. You can actually go in there and fine tune them per patch. That's also a really nice thing. And adjust our vibrato, offset. We can turn a patch very quickly into a mono patch or a poly patch. So let's go once again to that piano. In its natural patch form, it's a poly. So more than one note at a time. But I'll play the same chord and I'll turn it to a mono. Listen. So it turned it into a mono patch. Very cool, very quick. Legato. This will really adjust how it will sense, almost like a behavior modeling, how I press the key down. So it's like tonguing or non-tonguing. So that's kind of cool. And here's another screen that I really like a lot. Let's say on this patch, I want to have, I'll tell you what, before we explain this, let's go ahead and add a lead sound. So I'm going to go into here and let's add some kind of lead real fast. Maybe add this person in here for you. Cool. So we just added that in there. Let me choose another one that's not so rough. Maybe. Okay, that's a good one. So we just added a nice lead to there. Let me turn down his volume a little bit. All right. Now let's go back into F3 and let's first off adjust our keyboard settings. So remember, let's put this guy in maybe like C5 is his point. So I'll adjust him right here. And I'll adjust my electric piano and Morningstar to maybe F C5, so F B4. All right. So now put this guy here. This guy. And this takes a little bit of doing, but once you understand these concepts, you can come up with some really great leads and splits and layers and splits. It's really cool. So now my keyboard is split. So I have a bass, but once the bass crosses E3 and then the F3 is piano and Morningstar. Now I also have another split. When the EP goes beyond B4 into C5, then you have the lead sound. So now let's get back to what I originally wanted to show you. So on our MIDI transmit filter, or actually MiniReceive filter, I'm going to tell the electric piano and also the Morningstar not to receive any kind of bend. Okay, so check this out. So before, when I'm trying to bend my lead, if I was playing chords over here on my left hand, they would bend as well. But now look, I'll turn that off, and now I'm using my pitch bend. It's not receiving that information. Okay, now I might want to use my modulation also for my lead, so I'm going to turn it off in my electric piano and Morningstar again. All right, so and let's do the same thing with the bass. We don't want the bass to bend or mod, so I can have that going. So I'm using my pitch bend right now, and nothing's happening. Now on the same account, what if I want to hold a chord, and I want it to hold the electric piano and the voice and the bass, but the bad thing is if I press hold, it's going to hold the synth lead too. and that's not good. So let's go to number 4 where the synth lead lives, and I'll turn it off. Now I can hold the chord with my foot and then still play on top using the bend. So as you see there, the MiniReceive filter, we can adjust those parameters right there. So that's really cool. Let's go ahead and exit, and now let's look. So I have a brand new studio set, but at this time, instead of using it for recording, I'm using it for a big layer and split. Let's go look one more time. You remember earlier in live mode where we could go ahead and we could have external instruments? Well, remember, external here too. So if you have the MSB, LSB, the program change number of those particular instruments, and even adjust how loud they're coming in and also how they pan. This is a lot of control. So if you're playing live and you're having to control a lot of different other keyboards besides your Fantom, you can do that in here. All right, so this is really cool. And then once we're done with this, we can exit, and we'll go ahead over here. Oops. And we can go ahead and save this. So I can write this as a studio set, and I can call it, you know, my split, whatever, boom, boom. And then I can press F8 and then write it, put it, or I can go ahead and press enter, find another spot that I want to put it, you know, organize some of my sounds, and just select, write, and it's done. So as you see, the Fantom G can split and layer up to 16 different MIDI parts like the Fantom X, all the way back to the XP50 days. Plus, you can also split and layer 16 external parts or control them all from the same sound. So how cool is that? So that's something that I think if you just work on it a little bit, you're going to get a lot of good use out of it. All right. Thank you so much.